Thank you for tuning into the latest episode of the SplashCast, your go-to podcast for news and discussion in the world of sports. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 192 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host, Reggie.
I'm your co-host, Norwood. Our powers combined. You already know what it is. We are your HBCU homeboys. You could have been anywhere else in the world. You came and kicked it with us on this Tuesday because we had a holiday yesterday. Hope y'all enjoy it.
Yes, sir.
Happy Memorial Day.
Happy Memorial Day. Let's get it to it. How you doing, brother? How was your weekend?
It was perfect. I found out that at my age, you got to start your weekend here and then take it right on down. You got to land that plane. You go right in, you come. So by Monday, I didn't do anything. Peaceful. Did a little.
You got to give yourself a buffer now. You got to give yourself a buffer. You got to get that day of recuperation. You don't got that buff,
it's going to be tough. Let me tell you.
That's why when y'all try to come to our cities and visit and say I'm staying until Monday or Sunday, look, just know that you're costing me a day of vacation. Because if you stay till Monday, I'm taking Tuesday off. I'm not going to be at work. I'm
not taking off. Not physically. Maybe mentally. Maybe emotionally. Run me my bread. Need it.
My vacation is paid for, brother. But y'all know what it is. It comes to Monday Night Raw. We start off with our HBCU news around the culture, followed by our basketballs because it's basketball season, playoff talk, and we'll round it out with football. So without further ado, let's get into our HBCU news around the culture. First, we have news out of Houston. Start off with the football team.
There we go.
Start off with the football team. Prairie View got their new coach from Valdosta State, Coach Tremaine Jackson. I believe he's from the Houston area, if I'm not mistaken.
T-Jack. Yes.
Came over from Valdosta State, 25-3, made the championship game. Was viewed as a home run hiring, especially in HBCU football, to get somebody of his caliber. If you remember the callback, we talked about how he came up with this 4 rules of engagement through social media, where you have 4 hours to respond. Do not talk about NIL as the first talking point, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Very aggressive. And it has seemed to work out. They have brought in 35 plus transfers under Jackson from FCS. A lot of them came from Valdosta State. Some of them came from Baylor, Kansas State, Big Ten, JUCO. He seems to have added a jolt to PV that rivals Chinnisberry to South Carolina State.
I'm not sure if I'm willing to go that far. What I'm saying, what I do think that I get from him is he is very bold in his intentions. He is unapologetic. He is aggressive. Those rules, like him or don't like him, he is a man who seems to be principled and willing to stand on what he believes in. And you have to respect that. It should be very interesting going into this football season to see what the team actually looks like and what it materializes as. But I'm intrigued.
Well, I am too. The reason I brought up Chinnis is because if you remember, we talked about Chinnis. We was like, dang, South Carolina State social media presence has just jumped by 100% since he got there. The videos were better. The content came out.
That part 100%.
Prairie View has done the same thing, all the way down to how they announce their recruiting wins through album covers. Right? They come out through album covers. I should have downloaded it, but they have album covers and like movie covers, movie premieres. So that's what they're doing to try as I hate to say gimmick, but as a tactic to engage people social media wise. It seems to be working. 35 plus ain't a small number. There ain't number 80 people on the team, including walk-ons. That's half your team.
It's impressive. I want to see what it looks like on the field, though. You know, a lot of times we get caught up in the minutia of everything else. About no. X's and O's. Let me see what the team looks like. Let's see what our success looks like. Then we'll be able to gauge what your program truly looks like, and we can kind of make a decision from there.
Yeah, man. He's He's betting big on the portal, and he's brought in some staff. Speaking of bringing in staff, the basketball team has brought in an not HBCU, WNBA legend. Prairie View A&M has decided to add Plenette Pierson to their coaching staff. She's WNBA legend. I believe she's a 3-time WNBA champion, 6th Woman of the Year.
Correct.
Texas Tech Hall of Famer, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Played 15 years in the WNBA, and she joins the roster with Tia Diller, who is the head coach currently.
Yeah, and they're both former WNBA players. Tia Diller played at Texas, and then Plenette Pierson played at Texas A&M, where she literally just got done improving Texas Tech and Texas A&M before coming over to Prairie View. So that is a wonderful pairing, and it seems that Prairie View is being aggressive. They're being aggressive with their shift in athletic, really, philosophy. Right, so they're bringing in big names, big African American names,
right,
and improving the culture and growing the culture
with a level of success at the highest level. It's not like, hey, I got a name or somebody, hey, you might remember from college. No, these women have had long, successful WNBA careers. I can show you how to do it on the high school level, the college level, and the professional level. And of course, we know that the WNBA. That just infinitely grows Prairie View's network. Congratulations.
And overseas too, man. Yeah, definitely.
Right. Hopefully that's a whole different thing. If it don't work here, I can also probably get you a million other places where if you really want to continue to play basketball, we can make it happen. It's dope.
It's a milestone.
I love it.
Milestone for sure. Milestone for sure. Speaking of milestones, we're gonna go to the baseball diamond real quick, where Dexter Kelly made his Major League Baseball debut. He is a graduate of Savannah State University.
Former baseball star.
Understatement. I believe he was I think they were in the SIAC before. I think he was Player of the Year back then. He's in his hometown of Atlanta, where he made his debut at the Battery. I was about to say Turner Field. At the Battery.
Boy,
it is. Am I? I could have said Fulton County Stadium.
I knew that's where you were going next. Just the flag.
But he was the head umpire in the inaugural Minority Baseball Prospects All-American game in 2020 as well. So he's paid his dues, and this is great to have representation of everybody from every dynamic.
Exactly. Yeah, number one, I like this because he was a former, HBCU baseball superstar. Also doing it in your hometown. And more black umpires. We talk about more black baseball, more black umpires, especially from HBCUs. This is fantastic across the board. Congratulations to this gentleman, and continued success.
Yeah, man, that's what's up, man. Hopefully it'll bridge, and we'll be able to have more umpires. I hope he does well, better than the ones that are out there now. Because boy,
I'm not gonna say that. Congratulations, brother. We're gonna celebrate you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And finally, Bethune-Cookman gets $300,000 from the NBA Foundation as a major investment in youth development aimed at empowering young black men through its Black Male College program. The initiative targets students grades 6 through 12 and does everything from mentorship, tutoring, and exposure to higher education and careers, part of a larger movement. It's tough, man. That's tough.
Yes, $300K goes a long way, and this is, I want to make sure we say this clearly and loudly, just in case anybody else wants to donate. This is the Black Male College Explorers program based out of Bethune-Cookman University. Just like we tell you to support everything else, hey, you know that we as HBCUs alum and supporters, HBCUs need all the funding and money they can get. This is a great place to send some more money. And congratulations, because I think they went through like a bunch of rounds in order to get this money. And the determination and the presentation had to be smoking.
And you got to give credit where credit's due. Shout out to the NBA for, I don't know if this was just really good timing or if it was a response to something, but the whole thing that came out of African-American men are not attending college at it as much as they used to compared to other demographics.
Right.
This helps address that need almost immediately. That came out in April.
Exactly, immediately. And it tells you we're trying to help 6th to 12th graders be prepared to go to college. Exposure. What do you need? How do you get there? And I think that's probably the biggest thing, because when you look at it, the more you were prepared to go to college, and the more you understood that that's what I needed to do, it wasn't even, I guess for me, it wasn't like that big of a step. It was like, oh, I've been going to school and I'm gonna keep going to school because that's what I'm supposed to do. And I think that makes the transition a little bit easier, and you go in a little bit more confident.
Yep, 100%. 100%. We have come to the end of HBCU news around the culture. We talked about all the things going on in Houston, followed by Savannah State alum getting his Major League Baseball debut as an umpire, and Bethune-Cookman receiving the NBA Foundation Award, investing in young Black youth, African American male youth. We are going to take 30 seconds. So since you landed the plane and you coasted on through yesterday, that means you're going to have a drink tonight, right?
Okay, then we're going to take a little bit longer of a break then, because Reggie is going to do that. Yeah, I'm about to, my boy Bart going to go pour it up. We'll be right back. We'll be right bizzack.
Like, follow, subscribe. Hey, SplashCast fans, are you ready to take your obsession to the next level? Join the SplashCast community on Instagram and our own Facebook page for an immersive experience like never before. Get in on the action with lively discussions, fiery debates, and a community that's as passionate as you are. Our social media platforms are buzzing with the latest podcast news, exclusive updates, and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks. Don't miss out on the chance to connect with fellow SplashCast enthusiasts. Dive into the conversation, share your thoughts, and be part of something bigger. Find us on Instagram and Facebook, or go to www.splashcast.com to join now. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our basketball segment of episode 192 of the SplashCast Monday Night Raw.
Try to take us back a long way, boy. Back to life. Back to reality.
Hey, I'm listening to 80s and 90s music all week. Shout out to y'all.
Cheers.
Salute. Up to it, down to it, all those good things. Awesome. We got a few things we're going to talk about in basketball today. Norwood's going to run us through the WNBA and NBA before we get to football.
Well, let's start out with Caitlin Clark continues to make y'all hate her every day a little bit more and more. Yep. She has already broken the record for most 20-point assist games in WNBA history in 42 games. In context, for the people who are listening, thank you once again. Like, follow, and subscribe. Diana Taurasi did 9 of these in 565 games, and Courtney Vandersloot did 10 of these in 430 games. And Caitlin Clark has done this 10 times in 42 games. For you haters, I will let you know that she is going to be out for, I think, at least 2 weeks. So you won't have to hear her crush this, but it will not last long. I kind of see this already as very similar to probably what happens to Russell Westbrook in triple doubles, where it gets so far out of hand that you get to a point where you just like, it becomes more of an understanding than even necessarily a feat, which I don't like. I definitely don't like, but she's going to have a million more of these.
I think it depends on how well they do in the season, which right now they're one of the contenders early on.
Right.
If they continue to win and she gets to I don't know how they do it. They do a West. I don't know what they do. But if she's in they get in the conference finals or the finals every year and she's averaging a triple double, I think that lands more than, if you're 8 seed, or I think Russell Westbrook did it in Washington too, quietly, where he was
that was
good.
The last time Washington was good, though. We forget about that.
But Washington was bad. They were just better, so much better than they are now. And I think that's why Russell Westbrook's fell on deaf ears a little bit. Because, he did it so many times, but it didn't necessarily translate to like big wins. If she keeps winning, this will be like when they combined the ABA and the NBA and brought in all that talent against them players in the 60s in the NBA. He was like, whoa, little influx of talent. She's cooking, man.
Yes. And other people who people hate. Angel Reese, 400. Yes. Fastest player to have 450 points and 450 rebounds. I love this. I love this because they're finding ways to dominate in their own special way, but they are dominant. These fastest too. That means I've done it faster than everybody else in the history of the game. Congratulations. And continue to get them boards until they stop hating.
Let me say this for y'all haters, because I actually watched when these graphics come out, and you know they Indiana Fever played the Dream, and of course you had the whole Clark versus Angel Reese thing, and y'all make this. Yes, Angel Reese has stuff to work on, but y'all are out of control by saying the only reason that she got this record is because she's rebounding her own misses. That's if Angel Reese, if you took away all the rebounds of the shots where she missed the shot and take those rebounds, she still leads the league in rebounding.
It don't matter. Y'all get the board. It's a missed shot. The woman averaging 9 points, 14 rebounds, 2 assists. What are you talking about? You can complain, but the girl's a damn good basketball player anyway you cut it.
She cooking y'all on the board.
Right. And hit the weight room. That's the part that frustrates me the most. If this is a man doing this, it's like, hey, bro, hit the weight room. If you don't like me getting these rebounds, because Clint Capella does it all the time, nobody has a problem with it, except for Reggie. But nobody's like, oh, right. I mean, I ain't gonna say that, but
I am.
Nobody's questioning who Clint Capella is as a basketball player because he's missing the ball and getting the rebound. And yeah, you novices, you anger and irritate me, but that is fine because we can tell you're casual. Also, in Atlanta Dream news, the Atlanta Dream have unveiled a new court that says pay some respect to women's sports. I do like that. I'm going to be honest. I do not like the way that it's written in the middle of the court because it is very difficult to read.
I like the collab between Cash App is trying to bring awareness to women's sports. They are,
and the court looks cool. It looks like this is as close to like concrete that you're going to get outside.
It's a really good investment. It's showing a commitment to growing the sport. It's putting everybody on notice. I think the WNBA is scheduled to make $1 billion, or at least engross $1 billion. Or maybe that's net $1 billion. Which one before they take stuff out? Gross. Gross is
net. Yeah, the net is what you get in the net. Gross is the signal that you never see.
Yeah, so I think they're gonna make $1 billion. They're projected to make $1 billion, which is a big deal. So this is just a commitment by Cash App, and you could call it bold. I understand the Sprite. I know you don't like it in terms of the script, but that's the Sprite script, though. If you go back to the old Sprite commercials, that's what their font is, and that's how a lot of their stuff looks. So that's why they kind of stuck to it.
It's not a hill I'm willing to die on. I mean, the font to me is killing me, and y'all know me. I like symmetry. I like things to be even. That ain't doing it for me. But outside of that, at the end of the day, it's dope. I still like the black court with the green around it. I was excited. I don't know if y'all did or did not see Brittany Griner cutting referees' ass about being consistent as she and the girls prepare to go.
Griner cussing everybody out.
Right, as they prepare to go to the playoffs. Hey, we got to make sure we say that. As the Atlanta Dream prepare to go to the playoffs, because we need all the playoff teams that we can get. Let's keep it real, especially your boy. So, yeah, congratulations to the Atlanta Dream. Congratulations to this new court, and we'll be there to see it.
Yes, sir. And
very, very interesting news here. European basketball academies are feeling the issues of NIL. Real Madrid and FC Barcelona are considering shutting down. I think that this is in direct response to guys not going to these places now and considering going to college because you can get NIL there. If you look in this first round of draft, you have a lot of guys from different places who could have very well been in these academies, who have gone to U.S. colleges because of opportunities, including Norwood's hopeful pick, Igor Demon from BYU, 6'9" point guard. You heard it.
Yeah, this is interesting because
fight back.
FC Barcelona and Real Madrid. I want to say Real Madrid had Luka. FC Barcelona had the Gasol brothers.
Yep, correct.
So this is something I didn't think about when it came to kids going to the school. I always thought it was to combat American kids going to college, but I didn't think about kids from these athletic academies. Like, well, shoot, I can go play in college over there and get paid $4 million or $3 million or whatever $1 million,
and
versus staying in this be a 16-year-old pro over here, and I'm getting paid $125,000
and dealing with 40-year-old men.
Yeah, and you get to stand out, and I could play in college for 5-6 years. Then I could come back if I need to. I like this move. This is interesting because they're gonna have. I don't think they're gonna shut down all the academies. That wouldn't make any sense. But boy, that makes it even tougher on these high school kids.
But yeah, like I was joking, but Igor Demon, Maluk, I think he's probably going to Duke anyway. Kasparis, Giaconis, he's like 6'5" point guard. All of these guys are from other places, and I think in a different world, they probably don't end up at Illinois and BYU. If I'm
they get drafted. They're drafting stash.
Right. So, hey man, NIL continues to be its tentacles, its fingers just continue to grow and affect sports in a way that I don't think that we considered all of them. And it's interesting. It's going to continue to be a case study. And also, interesting news, y'all do me a favor and y'all keep Derek Fisher lifted up in prayer. I think that he got in that dog food or that meth. I don't know who asked him this question. I don't know why they asked him this question, but they were talking about LeBron getting a statue for the Lakers. And Derek Fisher said, if LeBron gets one statue, I better get two. This is just delusional. From the land of Delulu.
Yes, but not for the reasons you think. I do think he's right if not in terms of he deserves two statues, but I don't think LeBron deserves a statue over him for the Lakers. But I think he's looking at this wrong. LeBron's going to get a statue for being LeBron. LeBron going to get one of them Bill Russell.
And you ain't going to get a statue for being Derek Fisher unless the statue is brought to you by Matt Barnes and all the smoke.
They gonna the same way Michael Jordan's jersey, Bill Russell's jersey are retired around the league, or I think Jordan will be retired around the league if it's not already. They are going to retire LeBron's jersey around the league. He's gonna get a statue. If he gets a statue, he's gonna get a statue for being LeBron, not for being a Laker.
What did Draymond say to Paul Pierce? They don't love you like that, man.
They don't give you a farewell tour. Now, in terms of Derek Fisher, the reason I said he's kind of right is, I won three with the Lakers. I was part of the 3P.
Bruh,
he doesn't deserve a statue over me.
Bruh,
that also means that you just don't deserve a statue.
They're gonna put one of the big headbands you used to wear on the Shaquille O'Neal statue. That's as close as you'll come to wearing it, to being a statue, big dog. Not gonna happen.
You're a team photo guy.
Right. Right. Now let's move right on to a guy who may get a statue. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander named the MVP of this year's basketball season. Congratulations. Well deserved, well earned. Finally got over the hump.
Yeah.
To those who believe I don't like to say that part for the people who believe that he won it. Come on.
He won it. He won the MVP.
I think he won it too.
Joker, victim of your own genius.
Success.
He's so good that he averaged a triple-double and he was top 4 in every statistical category except for blocks. And that includes steals. So I mean that's something that's unprecedented as a center. But Shea took the best team, who was by far the best team
Right.
all year, and was the catalyst for being the best team all year, and led the league in scoring, and was a number one seed, and picked to win the finals. It's hard not to give the MVP to all of that. Very difficult.
Right. And you might as well go right on here. The all NBA teams were named, and who numero uno? SGA, Joker, Giannis, Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell. Solid first list. Jalen Brunson, Steph Curry, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Evan Mobley, second. And I think I don't know if I question LeBron being there. I guess I don't. And then finally, Cade, Halliburton, James Harden, Karl Anthony Towns, and Jalen Williams. Two things I found super interesting. I'm glad that James Harden got credit for really carrying that team that's really bad to being pretty decent. And Jalen Williams has snuck in there. And I know y'all think I might be crazy, but this continues to have more implications on the Thunder in the future. Jalen Williams has third team all defense, third team all NBA, and extension eligible. We already talked about last week. You're gonna have to pay Shea $78 million. Then on top of that, you got Chet over there, who's a number 2 draft pick, and he's going to be a max player. That's 3 maxes. That's 1 super max and 2 maxes.
Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt Sam Presti. So whatever they run into, he's got enough picks, enough players stashed that he'll figure it out. This whole first, second, and third team, it's interesting that you put Giannis ahead of the defensive player of the year. You would assume that the defensive player of the year would be a first team player. First of all, that's interesting to me. Secondly, it's very obvious that they awarded winning for first, second, and third team.
Absolutely.
Because I do agree with most of these names. I don't know if I would have put Jalen Williams on there in front of Trey or Dyson Daniels because of the defensive prowess of Dyson Daniels and Trey actually leading the league in assists and averaging 24 and 10, but our team wasn't good. So all of that fell on deaf ears for literally everything. They didn't win nothing. I think he won most improved player.
I pushed back on Jalen Williams because he was an elite defender and an elite team. Those two things together are why I'm okay with him. Dyson, vast, massive improvement, most improved for a reason. He's really turned it around on offense and an elite defense season. And then Trey, another elite offensive season, but defensively, just, of course, not there. Jalen Williams, to me, is kind of the combination of both. And I think that he's kind of more cemented himself as the number 2 guy on that Thunder team. So for me, I don't hate it because he's kind of the combination of offense and defense. With that being said, we can kind of go right over to it. All defensive teams. First team, Mobley, Green, Daniels, Dort, Amen Thompson. Second team, Toumani Camara, Rudy Gobert, Jaren Jackson Jr., Jalen Williams, and Ivica Zubac. Nobody even knew Camara was a good defender. But apparently the Blazers want a lot of money or they want a first-round draft pick for him. And I'm like, hello, Delulu.
First team, I'm all cool with. Draymond almost talked himself into a defensive player of the year. That's the least you could do for Dyson Daniels. I mean, he was so good. And it's crazy because the second person that led in steals, I think it was SGA, or maybe it was Joker.
No. It was SGA. He was 98 steals behind Dyson Daniels, even further behind in deflections. I think y'all might have been down 100, 150. He ran it up.
I don't know any of these. I know Jaren Jackson Jr. is probably good enough. Jalen Williams, we've just talked about him playing defense. Rudy Gobert. I mean, I guess because he averaged what 3 blocks. I mean, he made a difference defensively. He
Yeah,
made a
absolutely.
difference, but I mean,
it's difficult to quantify because Rudy just, and I tell y'all this every week. I know y'all probably get tired of it. He just keeps people out of the paint. I'm not even going to deal with that. If I stand in the paint, he's gonna make it difficult, and that's really the best thing about it. But yeah, I immediately went to Kamara, and I mean, I consider
I don't know
myself.
who that is. I don't know who he is.
He plays for the Blazers, but I
heard you
just
say that. That don't add no clarification.
yeah, I mean, I knew that was gonna be a thing, and even myself, who I try to get into the real details. Was a surprising pick. Also, congratulations, Dyson Daniels. He had the second most votes behind Evan Mobley, Defensive Player of the Year, which to me just kind of cements, and to me, honestly, just proves why I think he was Defensive Player of the Year. If you're that good and you're a guard, I think you just really should win it because it's just infinitely more difficult.
Yeah, 100%.
And now let's move on to today. Right now, we're watching the Pacers play the Knicks. They're up 5-89-85. That series is currently Pacers with 2 games, Knicks with 1 game. What you think, man? And hold on, wait. Before we get into it, I predicted Pacers in 6. Prediction still holding on. And Reggie picked Knicks in 7.
Knicks got to win tonight. If the Knicks win tonight, I think they can still get it done. They go down 3-2, 3-1, it'll be Pacers in 6. Tyrese Halliburton is playing out of his mind right now. I think he's got a triple-double. So, and it's 3:10 left in the third quarter. He had 29 and 10 at halftime. They are playing tough. This is a 90 series. They fouling, they shooting, they dunking, they disrespecting each other. Like this is exactly what the NBA wanted in New York Knicks versus Pacers. Cat grew up last game, and we keep saying that you can't keep growing up and then shrinking back down. Pause if necessary. Like Cat won them a game. If you think about the Justin Tinsley 2-1-1 theory, Cat got him a game, and now Brunson's got to get him a game, or the bench got to get him a game. And right now, what I'm seeing is going to be Brunson. Brunson got to step up because Tyrese Halliburton is outplaying everybody right now. He really took that personally.
Oh yeah, and of course they didn't release his dad. He went to the game tonight. I'm sure had to sit up in the box. I'm perfectly fine with it. I mean, Carl Anthony, and I want to be clear. Even in the game that they won, they mostly did not play that well. And then Carl Anthony Towns came on in the fourth quarter and looked like the guy who we kind of been
22 points,
right. And when full flamethrower, and that's one of the things that you have to have, especially as a Knicks player, is you want the signature game where it's like, oh, you remember where you were when you saw him do X, Y, and Z. And he kind of had a little bit of that. Jalen Brunson was in foul trouble and sat a lot of that fourth quarter. They got it done, and it was the definition of must win. And
was that an anomaly for Tibbs? Tibbs played 11 players.
Yes.
And they won. And they came back from 20 down. Cat finally realized that there's nobody can guard him on the Pacers. And he decided, I'm going to the rim or I'm shooting open threes. And that's all he did. No mid-range, no step back, no nothing. He hit 1 step back after he hit 4 straight shots. And I was like, oh, this what we needed to see. And it energized the rest of his team. Mikal Bridges, stop shooting them threes, bro. Go back to the mid-range, dog.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to be shooting threes on somebody else's team next year. You'll be in a role where they'll be asking you to shoot threes. I think that, to me, it's always been my kind of what I believed in is I think the Karl Anthony Towns, if you really look at it, he's the best guy on the floor, hands down to me. With that being said,
when he wants to be, not even close. It's not even close.
Right. The Pacers' depth is what sells me on the Pacers every time. the ability to go get 19 points out of Obi Toppin when you absolutely need it. TJ McConnell come in and just be a pest and look damn near like a starting point guard for just enough of the time. You got Benedict Mathurin, who is more than willing to bite you on the face. And you got more juice than the Knicks have. And as clutch as Brunson has been and as good as he's been in the playoffs, I don't know if he's getting tired or if it's just not working the same way. He is still smaller stature, very similar to Trae Young, where stuff works until it don't. And then when it doesn't, you don't have the athleticism to be like, oh, I could still be 7 feet tall like Karl-Anthony Towns. And it especially with Tyrese playing this well. And Tyrese is dialed in into a whole different. Ever since y'all called him overrated, he ain't like that.
I don't even say that Brunson he's not really struggling as what you would think. He gets foul trouble. But I mean,
well, that's the thing is Tibbs was most successful when he did not play Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns at the same time, because it kind of allows you to spread your defense a little bit versus juicing your offense.
Yeah, but I mean,
Brunson
got. Have to figure it out.
25. See, this is the crazy part. 25 points, 4 assists, negative 29. Negative 17 plus or minus. That's
because
crazy.
Tyrese Halliburton had a triple-double at halftime. Like, sometimes there's nothing that you can do.
That's kind of the trap. Jalen Brunson is kind of, but not to the same degree of like Donovan Mitchell, where they're really good at scoring. I think that Brunson is a better facilitator, but sometimes he just kind of, he doesn't always
Brunson's
take
not
that
a facilitator. He's not a natural facilitator. He's a 2.
Right.
He's not a natural 1. And I think Halliburton is a natural 1, and it allows. That's why they can put all of these, as everybody else calls them, just other guys, just another guy, all these jags around him, and he gets the best out of them.
That's where you need.
And
Josh
also,
Hart.
Rick,
you need Josh Hart to have 7, 8, 9 assists, 7, 8, 9 rebounds, because the other guys just don't.
But Tibbs also is getting out coached though. Like Rick Carlisle is putting on a clinic, out coaching him. Ooh, cat. Right. As he just does. He takes Miles Turner to the rim. But yeah, what we're seeing is that all of these people got it's a coaching matchup. The same thing with the Thunder in Minnesota when we get there. All it is coaching and adjustments. And Carlisle seems to be making the adjustments in the game, where the Knicks seem to be making the adjustments game to game.
Right. I think that they were better when the depth helps them. Now, I think that Tibbs has put himself in a bad way because you haven't gotten these guys used to playing. Then you go grab DeLon Wright. Hey, we need you to play. Landry Shamet, we need you to play. I have been a proponent of since at least All-Star break. Hey, Tyler Kolek. If anything, just get in there. He can score. He can be a secondary ball handler. He can maybe help facilitate with a team that doesn't have a lot of great facilitators, and just did not play him because he's a rookie. And I mean, if you know Tibbs, that's not a surprise, but now you're in the field clutch and you don't have enough ball movement and you don't have enough guys who can help other guys get to their spot.
Yeah, Indiana's going to be interested in the next couple of years because somebody's going to get overpaid. Somebody's going to get overpaid to leave. I think they will.
Who would be the candidate who did, if you look at this team, like Mathurin's good, but not overpaid.
Smith will get paid to leave because he plays defense.
Yeah, but not okay.
Benedict Mathurin might want more minutes, but the minutes thing, they can carve all of that stuff out.
Right.
You can carve because they can get rid of players, but
I think that they're a team that actually is pretty decently set up for the TV deal and cap smoothing, where, all right, Neesmith, you can probably get, maybe $20-25 million a year as the cap goes up. I would be kind of okay with that. Benedict Mathurin, $20-25 million. You got to pay Tyrese, but you got to pay him. Pascal's on his, you would assume, his last big deal. So I think that, and I mean, Miles Turner is eligible at the end of the season, but he also not going to elicit $50 million. You know, he's going to be paid probably $25-30 million, which is kind of what you pay starters now.
They pay him now. That's what they pay him now. They're going to pay him. He's going to want about 40 because I think he's at 2 years, 80 right now or something like that.
I mean, I don't, as much as I love Miles Turner, I don't think that he's played this playoffs in a way to say that you get paid more than Pascal Siakam. Harsh reality. And you know,
he's a stretch five. He shoots the three and block shots.
Yeah,
now,
but if you
is
exactly, and that's the issue, bro. I get you not rebounding at least a decent level puts you kind of in the fail clutch. And right now, what does he have? 12 points and 1 rebound. No, you cannot tell me that in a must-win, like I'm not gonna say must-win playoff game, but in a very big playoff game, you got 1 rebound and you're 8 feet tall, and you want how much money? You better take this $35-40 million and go sit down somewhere and be still, because you still have a good team around you.
And I'm gonna say this, and we can move on to the Western Conference. I'm gonna say this: Tyrese Halliburton is embracing being the villain. He just hit a deep 3 from the logo and did the Jalen Brunson 3-point celebration.
Nasty work. I love it. I love it. I like the spice. And I think that I like that Bennedict Mathurin is just an asshole. And I think that Tyrese Halliburton is on the y'all did my big brother wrong, Reggie Miller, and this gives me a chance that every chance I get to stick it to the Knicks, I will. Speaking of Knicks, the mayor, your boy, decided to rename all of the streets in Manhattan for Knicks players. So I think that this is terrible across the board. But let me tell you a couple people who should not have anything named after him. DeLon Wright Circle. Excuse me? Bro, no. PJ Tucker Terrace. He should have got a driveway or something else. Way more important sneaker collection. Landry Shaman Circle. What are we doing here?
Pacone Dottier Drive.
Don't even know who that is.
Tyler Kolek Lane.
I like Tyler Kolek. He don't even play. Ariel Hook Party? No. This is terrible. This is why, and I don't blame all Knicks fans, because my homeboys who are Knicks fans are actually relatively reasonable. With that being said, this is too far, Eric Adams. Embarrassing, it's trash, and as me and Reggie will tell you, this is really bad juju. And y'all got streets named after y'all and don't even make it to the finals.
Yeah, they ain't made it this far in 24 years, right?
You don't name streets in the city of New York.
14 years.
You don't name
there, 2011.
You don't name streets in the city of New York, not the Big Apple. This is the most participation award BS I've ever seen. And I can't believe the Knicks fans. I don't think the Knicks fans really support this. I think they're probably okay with it because it just happened. But it ain't no way you think that this is like reasonable or cool. That's all I got for this. Embarrassing.
Okay. Timberwolves OKC for the first time that I've seen this year. SGA was the MVP, and it wasn't even a doubt. OKC on the brink of letting the Timberwolves come back and tie it up. Go down to Minnesota and win game 4 to go up 3-1. SGA has the game of games along with Jalen Williams and Chet. And that 3-player core that you're talking about before led them to a victory while stifling Ant Edwards and Julius Randle turning into a pumpkin again. So it's interesting that we both picked the Wolves in 7. What did you think when you were watching this game? What was happening?
I got to be real here. We know the truth here. Minnesota's Minnesota. Anthony Edwards, get your ass out of Minnesota. Don't waste no more time. It ain't gonna happen there. We know it. We've seen it happen too many times. I get it. You want to be the guy. You ain't gonna be the guy. Get out of there. Do not be Kevin Garnett. Do not be Stephon Smallberry. Do not be Kevin Love. You get your ass on out of there right now. First thing smoking. Demand out. I want to be out.
I disagree. I think I put it in the group. Rudy is gonna have to take ballet lessons or something. He's so offensively uncoordinated.
You can't fix that at this point.
It's insane. But on defense, he's not he's not uncoordinated at all. Like on defense, he's good. Now I will say the Thunder are the team that can neutralize whatever size advantage he has in the paint, being 7'3", because they got Chet,
32 years old.
They got Chet and they get them young boys and Hartenstein and the other Jay Williams. They up there jumping them. And at this point, you know, Naz Reid is more of a perimeter player. So they don't really have a lot of.
Hey, Naz Reid, you owe us too, bro. You've been hyped up all season. We ain't had no Naz Reid game yet. We ain't had none of that. That can't be a thing. Y'all gonna have to hit on Naz Reid. You gotta be yourself. Jaden McDaniels, you got paid a decent amount of money. You need to be yourself. Rudy, you get paid a lot of money. I don't know what you can do at 32 years old into making Rudy.
Well, what I was saying was, you know, they need rim protection. And if you can't have Rudy is such a hindrance on offense because they just send the second man to Ant now, and they just take Ant out of the game, and they said we're gonna let everybody else beat you because Rudy cannot do anything with the ball. His coordination and the way that he can catch the ball has gotten worse. It's really bad. So what I was saying was Minnesota, I don't think Ant needs to leave because if you look at the makeup of that, they have Jay McDaniels, so I believe they re-signed already. And he is a good defensive player. I didn't realize he was 6'10", 6'11". So like he can actually, when he lays the ball up, I mean, he's at the goal. So they have that. You have good role players around them. They need another point guard. I love Mike Conley, but you got to get somebody. But they that was gonna be my hold up. Let me finish. So they get those. So with the point I'm making is I don't think he should leave. I think that they do need to swap out centers. I don't know how they would, and I do think that they need another facilitating point guard.
You got Mike Conley. You got Mike Conley. You either got to step up or you got to go home. I think that Rob Dillingham should be playing more, especially. The numbers came out on Anthony Edwards' drives. He was double teamed on 100% of his drives. Mm-hmm. So he's making the right play of giving the ball up. That means that if he's not going to be able to do that in the half court, y'all have to run a different offense. You have to run through somebody else. And you have Mike Conley, who is a talented veteran, and you have Rob Dillingham, who you drafted to be this guy, and you traded for him. Because remember, it was the Spurs pick. If you're going to trade for Dillon.
But he's not a facilitator either.
No, but he's also a guy who has a bag. Who, if you're going to double on Anthony Edwards, then let Dillingham kill a person. That's what you drafted him to do.
I see him more of a Jamal Crawford type, 6-man. Just come in and cook.
You let him cook, though. What I'm saying is they're not giving Dillingham a chance to even cook, which – to me, you don't have enough if you don't do that. You don't have enough offensive juice if you don't do that.
I think they're getting by with Alexander Walker. I think they like him. I think the role players around him are actually very, very good. It just so happens, like I was saying before, the Thunder are the Thunder. Like they are good at they are too deep at every position. Center, power forward, guard, small forward. The only one they're probably not too deep at is point guard. But it don't matter. They just bring Isaiah Joe or they bring Keaton Wallace, who I did not know was Ben Wallace's son,
Keaton and Jason,
off the bench. come off the bench, and then they just play out. They're out. Their defense is so crazy. Lou Dort is really good. Like he stifles. He must be super strong because he stifles Julius Randle. There is no back down of Lou Dort at all.
Everybody ain't gonna make it to OKC because somebody's gonna pay somebody for one of these guys. I mean, you need defense. Hey, what will it take for me to get Dort? Because he is a middle linebacker in every sense of the word. Built like one, move like one, defend like one. I got it.
Yeah, because Julius, bro, all that pouting shit you be doing, and you can't. I understand when you not getting the call. I understand when you frustrated, dog, but you can't clock out on defense because you're not getting the call on offense.
Yeah,
I know it's difficult to do, but you can't. You the number 2 player,
and you be skinning and grinning when you got it going. That's my only thing is you got to maintain it. You gotta make it happen. And between you and Anthony Edwards, at the end of the day, and I hate to say it, Julius, you and Rudy are going to end up being the scapegoats, right or wrong. You better do the best thing you can for your own self, because Anthony Edwards they're not going to lay the responsibility at Anthony Edwards, and I don't think they can.
Nah, I think he can't. True, because he's the face, and you don't want him to leave, so they're not going to blame him, or the Wolves won't let him blame him. But I mean, he can't go out there with another 4-point half. If you supposed to be Anthony Edwards, you can't be. You got to be aggressive. That 4-point half with four shots.
That part,
I have
to blame on coaching though. If I get doubled on 100% of my drives, then we have to do something different. Because if Anthony Edwards was once a guy who shot too many shots when he was getting doubled, and now he's passing out of the double team, then yeah, you got to do something different. You can't be mad with him for shooting too many difficult shots. And then now you change and say, hey, well, when they collapse on you defensively, you got to kick it, and he kicks it, and he's still wrong, then he's just wrong to me, in my opinion.
Now, before we go, I brought this up in the chat. I feel like Minnesota is 1 3-point shooter away. I like Jay McDaniels. If you want to make the comparison, I'm not saying they are, but if you Ant Edwards has been compared to early Mike, and when Mike got Pippen, or his Pippen, to me is what McDaniels is for Ant. McDaniels can guard the 1 through the 5, really. And he normally gets guarded the best player. So you have those two pieces there. Julius, you just got to be Horace Grant, dog. Hit the open J, hustle, get rebounds.
But Scotty was still, Scotty wasn't no slouch on offense.
Top 50 greatest player. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and I love the defense, but hey, Scotty is still getting 18, 19, 20 points a night on top of that, and taking the toughest cover. So
I think McDaniels can progress to that. Remember, McDaniels ain't number like 23 himself. Like they both young. I mean, he might be 24, 25, but they both super young.
I agree. I don't know if I think that's a lot to ask of Jamie. I don't think you ever gonna be Scottie Pippen, bro. You ain't gonna be that.
No, I ain't saying you're gonna be Scottie Pippen, but you gotta fill that role. That's your role.
I don't know if I don't think he's capable of that. I would like for him to be that capable, but I think that is a tall order to ask of anybody.
12 to 15 points a game, 5 to 7 rebounds, and play defense. I think he can do that.
I think he can do Pippen, that. Though. That's DeAndre Hunter.
No, that's the role. That's the role of Scottie Pippen. He brings the ball up the court. He can shoot the 3. He does all of the things that Scottie did. I ain't saying he gonna be a Scottie Pippen. I'm saying his role was what Scottie's role was for Jordan.
That's fair.
But they need a shooter, man. Klay Thompson. Look, I know Dallas is making you promises.
No, they are not. I promise they're not promising you anything. They might be promising that you'll be somewhere else.
Klay, go to Minnesota. You could Ray Allen, your career on out of there, playing with Ant Edwards and that team. It could
All right,
work.
Clay, you better take your ass to LA. I think that'd be a good place for Clay.
Which one?
It's just surprisingly either, but I think the Lakers would be good for him because all you would have to do is shoot open threes, and I think you could probably do that at a crazy clip.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of basketball. Do we come to? Is that it for basketball?
Yep. I don't think we got anything else. We don't need to talk about the Hawks. Just prepare yourselves for this draft. Oh, the Hawks do not have a president of basketball operations. It's ghetto.
Still.
We don't know if they're gonna fix it. I will hope that they will. I promise you nothing. Yeah, it's just the Hawks being its own organization, being ourselves per usual, and not having what looks to be a plan.
Yep. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm gonna go get me another beverage. It is summer break over here at the Davis household. Kyrielle, I don't know if you heard her in the background, but she is out of school this week, so we are working from home. She is having the time of her life, cookout food and sweets and all of that stuff. So,
all that Memorial. Hey, some leftovers. Did they go in there and get your hamburger?
She like ribs.
Oh Lord.
But yeah, exquisite, expensive palate.
Right.
We will be right back. Y'all like, follow, subscribe. Give me another beverage. See if the Knicks can come back. They called another offensive foul on the Knicks.
To be continued.
We'll be right back. Y'all stay tuned. Hey, SplashCast listeners, are you ready to dive into some exciting opportunities with us? The SplashCast is now open for brand partnerships, advertisements, and sponsorships. We want your business to make a splash with our audience. Picture your brand reaching all of our loyal and passionate listeners who love our weekly content. From HBCU news around the culture to our splashes of the week, we cover it all. If you're looking for a dynamic platform to showcase your products or services, look no further. Reach out to us at diveteammedia@gmail.com. That's diveteammedia@gmail.com. Or visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com for more details. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our final segment of episode 192 of the SplashCast, Monday Night Raw. Our football segment, news around the league. Going to talk about some high school, college, NIL fallout, and then we'll get to the pros. Got a few things we'll talk about there. Let's start out with the high school, man. You have wow, the Pacers going crazy. You have Buford High School, who has spent $62 million. $62 million on their new stadium. It's the most expensive high school football facility in the nation. 3,500 square feet, two-sided scoreboard measuring 81 by 44 feet, comparable to in size to those of major college sports stadiums. It includes suites up 10 suites, 12 stadium chairs with premium finishes, end zone field house spaces for referees, cheerleaders, coaches. It replaces their old stadium as well. This is also will serve as a hosting spot for the community that will replace most of the middle school and high school events.
I do kind of like that. I like that you have this elite place to go as a middle schooler and play these types of games. But $62 million seems... America's education system doesn't seem like it lends itself to spending $62 million on a football facility. And that's just me.
Well, the education system didn't spend $62 million on a football facility. That is what you call a booster. Buford is a factory when it comes to putting out players. And when I tell y'all a factory, we are both from Georgia, where we've had Parkview, we've had Lowndes, we've had Valdosta, we've had all of these South Georgia, Oconee
Statesboro,
County, Westlake, Statesboro,
Thompson.
all of those schools that come out with these players that I think Georgia has the third most players in the NFL right now
I
that
don't
come from the
remember
state of Georgia.
Buford smoking us like that.
Buford was good after we left.
Okay.
Buford overtook it was the first Gwinnett school to really kind of go crazy.
Now I remember Parkview.
That Parkview Brookview era with Jeff Francoeur. Let
me tell you, boy.
And
You
Brad
get over there to
Lester that played at Auburn.
Bruh. Parkview. Funny story. That was my brother's last high school game was against Parkview. And
you played against Jeff Francoeur?
Yeah. I think Jeff might be a little bit older, but they right around the same age. Jeff. No. Lester.
When did Lester graduate high school?
Don't get me the line. We'll talk about
Francoeur graduated our senior year.
Nah.
I mean, I'm sorry, our freshman year was his senior year, 2000.
My brother's older than that.
Oh, he like Parkview for real though. But go ahead.
Boy, when I tell you get over there to Parkview and I like Georgia football guy through and through, all over. Parkview, first thing you notice is this is a college campus. And now it's a college campus 30 years ago. Let me tell you. So, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, high tide raises all ships. $62 million is a ton of money. I wish we invested in teaching people how to read more than play football. And I love football.
Parkview is if you drive up to Buford, it's kind of like Greater Atlanta Christian in a charter school. They have it's another college campus. If you thought Parkview was a college campus, take all the high school looking buildings and turn them into high-rise buildings. And that's what Buford is. It's the new school, not the new school, it's the school that turns out players. I mean Kirby, that's why Georgia, if you want to talk about it, Georgia's gotten better because UGA had a bad reputation with Buford, and now Kirby done cleaned that up. I think old boy from we got a couple players on the Falcons that went to Buford. They're good, man, and they're gonna be Dylan Raiola. His little brother already got like 10 scholarship offers. They're the place that you transfer to Georgia for. You transfer out of state to come to Georgia to play for Buford. Dylan Raiola, that's where all of them come. So Buford got the money, man. They got the money. 230 wins and 3 state championships, all in the 2010s and afterwards. I mean, they are a powerhouse.
Next up.
Where we got? Hey, so more NIL news. USC booster, who apparently has to be a pretty substantial booster, has threatened to pull USC out of his will if they do not continue the USC Notre Dame rivalry. The rivalry goes back 100 years. We all know about USC Notre Dame, the Reggie Bush push, Lou Holtz, so many players, so many coaches that were all through there. Charlie Weiss, of course.
And Notre Dame, y'all know I hate Notre Dame. Number one. I do agree with this, though, USC, because Notre Dame is they're not uniquely. They're on TV for a reason. This is a big game.
Their own channel.
You should make sure that this one happens. You're going to be USC. And if the program is hitting on all cylinders, this should be, I think, a winnable game. I think the USC's football program should be able to beat Notre Dame's football program.
That's revisionist history. That's because in our lifetime, I think Notre Dame went through that lull, but historically Notre Dame is.
I agree with. But I'm dealing with it here and now.
And you gotta be
love faithfully.
You gotta be honest, USC. I'm gonna piss a lot of y'all LA folks off. I'm gonna say it. Really ain't no USC without Notre Dame. That rivalry helped grow y'all school.
I don't hate that. But you also got USC, UCLA too now. Both important.
Not like not in football. USC, UCLA was basketball.
I agree.
USC Notre Dame is what that grew both of those schools' football programs. That's like to me saying that Hampton don't play Howard no more, or
Yeah.
Southern don't play Grambling. Like you, no matter where you move, them two games have to happen, and
Right. It
that's one of
should.
those games that has to happen. Plus, it's too much
I
money,
agree.
too much money, 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 too much money.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really the thing. Is there's so much money on the table? Why wouldn't you? That's one of those.
yeah.
Everybody is rich at the end. Even if you lose, might as well make a couple dollars in the process. Let's
Negotiate with NBC. We gonna put all USC commercials during the game. USC
right.
and Notre Dame commercials. This is gonna be like
There,
when you go to an HBCU game and they play them commercials on the big screen.
don't Pac-10 this. This is a good thing. Don't blow it. Y'all, everybody gets rich. We're gonna
Yep.
briefly talk here about the Falcons because this is an Atlanta-based podcast.
Oh, you want
Podcast.
to?
Always remember, like, follow, subscribe, especially if you're Falcons, Hawks, Braves, Gators, Bulldogs, Dream, Atlanta United fan, because we love you. I mean, it's not a ton to talk about. They're pretty excited about the safety position with Watts and what's the other kid name? They've affectionately named them Billy Bowman. They've affectionately named them Fire and Ice. Billy, of course, is fire because he is fiery, and Xavier Watts is ice because he has very little to say. And they believe that defense, those two guys at safety, they believe to be the third and fifth best safety in the draft.
I don't disagree. I agree. What I've noticed from OTAs are a few things. They are you can't really pay attention to the depth chart yet because there is a lot of veterans that didn't show up. For whatever reason. Now Kirk Cousins is isolate him over here, and then we talk about the team. No disrespect, but we know he ain't gonna be here. I'm
I don't know
interested to
that.
see.
I don't know that.
They're gonna try to figure something out.
I do think they're gonna try.
Yep. What I do see is competition. Raheem Morris in his press conference talked about competition. That was the buzzword. Nickelback, they got everybody playing Nickelback. D. Alford, Billy Bowman,
Clark.
who did we just sign? Clark Phillips. Hell, they even had King. They switched King, who was like a fan favorite for a guy that came from the practice squad. They switched him to safety. They played Jalen Walker at the end, and they told him they're gonna, focus on the end, but then he's playing off the ball linebacker too. Like, so they are playing a lot, and they are trying to figure out who gives us the best chance to win.
Give me my five best guys. Because that's, I think, is going to make or break their success is, and I hope we do more of this, is play all your best players at one time. Jesus, I don't care what it takes. Just play them all.
They got to figure out what they're gonna do at CB2. I like Mike Hughes. I think if you just let him roam, I think he's a really good DB. If you let him roam, put him wherever you need him to play. I don't know if I'll roll with him at CB2. I like AJ Terrell. I like him at CB1. I would love to add. Now, Jalen Ramsey is going to take a lot more than you think to get him. It'd have to be a buyout almost for us to get him. But we need to address the CB2. Offensively, I hate him.
Kirk Cousins.
Miami?
Anybody. If you want Kirk Cousins, me and Reggie will facilitate the move. Kobe Bryant. You still got Helms from
I was about
Alabama.
to ask you about him. They are hyping this dude Kobe Bryant up, and I didn't mean to get into the weeds. They are hyping him up crazy. They are they are talking about he's going to contend for number 2.
This is my thing. You have enough guys.
Mm-mm.
You got about 10 guys for 5 positions.
Yeah.
You better figure. I don't care what you used to play. Billy, if you used to play safety, now you play nickel, that's fine. I don't care. You know that there are 2 things that you better figure out. You better figure out that pass rush. You better figure out that secondary. Otherwise, if you don't, you're going to get fired. And Tampa did get better. And we have to be better than Tampa, or Raheem, you're going to get fired. And I'm just gonna beg the Kyle Shanahan come back to Atlanta.
I don't think you gotta be better than Tampa. I think you gotta be better than you gotta make the playoffs. And you
Well,
gotta be better. You gotta be better than Carolina. I can tell you that.
Oh, well, we better not be in this. Okay, so let me kind of help you out a little bit. Places where you should not be in the conversation: Carolina and New Orleans. It better be a fight between you and Tampa. If you're fighting out for second and third in the NFC South, oh my God, my friend, it's fire. And I'm going to say this actively: if you're not winning the NFC South this year, you probably should. If you don't win it this year, then you deserve to be fired. And I'm going to tell you why. That means that Tampa would have won it 3 years in a row and they're bullying you, or you let Carolina pass you, or you let New Orleans pass you on a retired quarterback post-draft. In any of those situations, brother, you're not long for this team. But that's all I really have, unless you have anything else on those guys.
No, y'all know me. I might shoot some more videos, my own, to get kind of nerd out in the football a little bit. I can keep this segment going for 45 minutes. But in terms of the Falcons, when more stuff breaks, more news breaks, we'll talk about it. Moving on, man. NFL introduces the Protector of the Year. This is a award that Troy Vincent from the Buffalo Bills specifically has been lobbying for. It basically will launch the annual award celebrating the league's best offensive lineman. Trent Williams probably would have won this award 10 years in a row.
Oh yeah.
Lane Johnson was probably in there, and Penei Sewell is the new guy on the block who is probably going to be the next best offensive lineman. They've been calling him the best offensive lineman.
Oh, Joe Alt gonna get one of these too for sure.
The Mountain, the rookie that you don't hear anything about,
right? Which is good. When you're offensive lineman, they're like, never had a conversation about him. Just kills people.
Yeah, Troy Vincent credited Deion Dawkins for this. Deion Dawkins and Andrew Whitworth helped make this happen. If I agree, because they're not gonna. You'll never have an MVP offensive lineman. The closest we got was Orlando Pace. He was so good that he was third in MVP voting. I don't know how you even quantify that.
I do, by picking them people up off the ground. So would you like a little syrup with that pancake? Excuse me. Excuse me, my boy. Funny story. Real
quick. Denver Broncos avoided transfer portal players during the 2025 draft. They made a note and said that loyalty from a player to a program is more important than the production if they jump from team to team. They said it speaks values. Peyton is likely has emphasis on stability, adaptability with a single system, and a locker room of consistency. If you remember him in the Saints, that's what he did. He kept the core players around and just added fringe pieces and got the best out of all those fringe pieces and did what he was supposed to do. So this doesn't surprise me, and I think it could be an effective strategy if it works.
I don't hate it. I do. I think that it does kind of protect you against the AAU kids who are just looking for an opportunity, which is a real thing. The only guy who they got who was in the transfer portal was Caleb Lohner, and he also played basketball. Sean Payton is
he didn't count.
Man. He's Sean. I don't know if it's going to work out in his favor like it did in New Orleans, but he definitely has a certain set of principles that he's going to live and die by. I respect that. Now it's just kind of
yeah. Now let me tell you, if he had the number 3 pick and the number 3 pick,
oh for sure,
transferred 3 times, you gonna make that
easy hate outside the club. You're right. For sure.
Speaking of the Broncos, shout out to the Broncos. They will officially, Lord, that's kicking my butt. Induct Demaryius Thomas into the Ring of Honor. For the Ring of Fame, I guess is what they call it.
Yes.
For the franchise. He was a key weapon for the Broncos, especially during their Super Bowl winning season in 2015. I remember Demaryius Thomas at Georgia
Exactly,
Tech
baby.
when
Right.
he was there with Tashard Choice, and they won the Orange Bowl with Paul Johnson. They just threw it to him or ran the. They played Madden handbook. Throw it, fly or run the dive.
Fly or
That's all
die.
they did. Yeah. So unfortunately, Demaryius Thomas passed away for a freak accident. Somebody hurt. Oh no. Oh no, he can't get up off the ground. But shout out to Demaryius Thomas. Shout out to the Bills. This is fantastic. They already put his name on the field. They already put his number on the field. So to put him up there and put him as an immortal figure of this team is awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. And of course, like you said, Georgia Tech alum, we 100% support this and love all of this. So congratulations. And it just gives another chance to celebrate a bright, bright life. Definitely gone too soon.
Yep.
Oh, hold on 1 second. Actually, while we do that, I'm not sure if this has been released yet, so I'm not 100%. But Joe Thuney possibly going to be the highest paid guard in football, paid to protect Caleb Williams. I think that the contract hasn't been cemented yet, but I mean, if you can protect Mahomes, I assume that you could probably protect Caleb Williams, and they're gonna pay you a lot of money for that.
Yeah, I mean, he's on track to get $17.5 million a year at guard, which would make him the highest paid guard per year. 32 years old. He's had a hell of a career playing with the Patriots. You sacrificed some salary to win, but it got you the Super Bowls. I think he's had 6 Super Bowl appearances. Is that right?
Yep, new 3-year
second most
deal
of all,
worth $51 million, and of course they talking about possibly him already going back to the Chiefs after getting them first couple years of dollars.
Yeah, man, and the Chiefs used him in a like a swing tackle position. He was so good. He played center guard tackle, left and right. So
Hey, you need me to be
versatile.
Great. By the way, I could do that.
He's good, man. You got to pay him. And Chicago, Caleb, I said this before with other players, they are trying to remove the excuses.
Right.
Your dad, the whole book that came out, we never really wanted to cover it, but the book came out. Some news came out about y'all trying to circumvent the draft to not go to the Bears. And then, how the Bears weren't preparing you and you kind of and they didn't help you. So it gave you an excuse for the first year. There ain't no more excuses. They went and got Ben Johnson. They done went and rebuilt. They spent so much money this offseason. It's crazy on the offensive line. So they are all in.
Now, Ben Johnson still has to do his part more than anything, but personnel-wise, they've given you more than they've given you more than they've ever given anybody ever before in the history of the Chicago Bears specifically. They've given you the sun, the moon, and the stars as far as their budget has ever been concerned. And it is going to be tough to get out of there and not win if this franchise is giving you more than they've given anybody else.
Hey, man, you at least got to pass for 4,000 yards one time. I don't think they've had more than.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and this is the other part is the bar is super low on being the best ever there.
Receiver or quarterback. Like
right.
you could literally just go out there and be par. I just need you to par out 7.
You're a wide receiver. I want you to know that you're competing with Walter Payton.
Who was a running back from the 70s.
Exactly.
From the 70s. He played when they put their finger in the wide receivers put their finger in the dirt.
That's not true either, but it's funny.
It is true. Go back and look at some of the tape. They was lined up like tight ends out there by the numbers.
Yo, Charles Woodson, I love this story. And I love this story because Charles Woodson has become a limited partner for the Cleveland Browns. Charles Woodson is a Michigan State icon. So the only way I can mathematically compute
Michigan
this is,
icon, state of Michigan icon, not a
but this is my
Michigan
thing.
State icon.
No,
Like,
I think that Woodson is from Ohio.
yeah. You said Michigan State icon, like the Spartans.
No,
That's like saying a Florida State icon.
You're right.
Tebow.
My bad. You're right. My bad.
Clarify, brother.
Yes, he is a University of Michigan icon. But he is now an owner of the Cleveland Browns. So in my head, the Michigan Wolverines and Michigan owns Cleveland now. I don't know how y'all reconcile that. That's something that y'all. That's something y'all got to deal with on your own time. I'm glad that couldn't be a problem for me. But yes, also from Fremont, Ohio. So I get it.
Hey man, it's fire. You know, a limited partner. You know, he's transitioning. He went from on the field to in the broadcast booth. Maybe not the booth, but he went to commentating for a little bit, and now he's going to ownership. I'm all for ownership, and if you're gonna try to stabilize, if you're gonna try to you got to stabilize an organization. No better person to bring in who understands how to be a professional. If anything, he could at least help out the rookies and the younger players be professionals and change.
This is Grant Hill all over again. I'm gonna do a little bit for y'all, and by the time I sell this thing, if I choose to sell this thing, it'll then quadruple just because of the way that inflation goes. I'm gonna get rich on this and do whatever y'all need me to do. Now I'll show up and talk to whoever I need to.
On a somber note, we are going to say T's and P's, thoughts and prayers to the family of Jim Irsay.
Big Jim, as they call
passes away. Passes away in 2025. He was the Colts owner for over 20 years. Very well known amongst the league. Very well known. He now will pass ownership on to his 3 daughters, which I think is the silver lining of this entire story. This kind of caught me off guard because I didn't hear of any health complications that were like, you know,
I mean, bro,
immediate.
we just saw what happened with the former president. Stage 4 prostate cancer, and you know he get poked and prodded by doctors every couple of days. He ain't going far without a checkup. You know, people I think at certain points in their life just decide to kind of be able to, hey, this is my life. If I can't really change it, what am I telling you for? And I'm not against it. It's not really any of our business. I do want to take a moment here to shout out Carly, Irsay Gordon, Casey Foyt, and Kaylin Jackson, his daughters, who he's prepared and put in place. Of course, it is unfortunate anytime that the NFL family loses somebody, but I think that this is a massive opportunity for the NFL. You got multiple women in charge, and this is a blue blood organization. It's been around since literally its inception of football. And to be able to highlight and put these women at the forefront in a league that has not done really well with women, I think that if done properly, this is an excellent opportunity.
Yeah, man. If it's speaking as who's the son whose father started a business,
and they know football.
Jim Irsay did it right. They know more than football. Jim Irsay put all 3 of his daughters in the business from the get-go. One did tickets, the other one did sales, another one was very in tune with the operation side of running a football team. And they all have another one did philanthropy. I'm sorry, not sales, raising money. Did philanthropy. So they all have their own niche. And they all have a chance to be owners. And I want to say it would be the first sisters that are majority owners of a football team in NFL history. And the thing is, they probably will run this organization better than most of the owners now because it's 3 heads with 30 years of experience, and they're only 30 to 40, 25 to 40. So this is what you want. Talk about legacy. You can talk about Irsay and everything else that happened on his career. That's just part of running a business and part of being rich. But one thing he did do is set up his daughter and leave a legacy that will impact generations upon generations, not only his family, but 53 men or 70 men plus staff for at least the next 50 to 100 years.
And I'm
That's
going to be
crazy when
real.
you think
Y'all
about it.
may or may not like what I have to say next. I think this probably gets this organization to more stability and strategy that it's been using for sure, since Peyton Manning left.
Peyton, they've been searching for their way since Peyton left. Peyton was the guy.
And I think
You're
that
right.
these women are equipped. And I think that, Irsay was a big personality. But he was an owner with emotion. You can go back to the Matt Ryan situation, kind of see it pretty openly about what happened with Jeff Saturday. I don't think that situation goes down with these three women at the helm.
I'm interested to see how they matriculate into the owners' meetings. I'm sure that one of them was there. I don't know if all of them will be there as a three-headed monster, but the tentacles, as you said before, the tentacles of the Irsay family will be all through the NFL because they impact so many different facets of the NFL. So that is fantastic. What else we got? How you feel about this? NFL players are now permitted to compete in the 2028 Olympics for flag football. I have thoughts. Go ahead.
I don't think that this is as real of a thing as people want to make it to be. I don't think that at the end of the day that if you are anywhere between 22 to 28, probably 29, you can even legitimately have that conversation and it be realistic. I like the opportunity to play in the Olympics and play flag football, but I don't think that it's a wise decision. I don't think that's what you should do with your opportunity and your money. I think this should be a 30 plus. I think you should be looking at the Stephon Diggs, the OBJs of the world. Yeah, you can do it now. It's kind of what it is for you. But if I'm Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase, don't hit my line for this.
Well, already Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, and Tyreek Hill said that they want to do it. First off, before we even get to the players playing football, why in the hell is flag football an Olympic sport? Flag football and football by itself is an American sport. American football is the reason they call it American football. There's no large football contingency around the world. That we've tried that. Y'all remember that? We tried that with NFL Europe. We tried that with NFL Africa. We've tried that over and over and over again. We do play football around the world, but there ain't no sub teams. So we just gonna send players out there to play flag football to just, I'm assuming, I may be ignorant. I don't know of any flag football leagues that are known around the world. I know they probably have teams, but not leagues. So we gonna be out there and just destroy these people for no reason.
Let me give you a little bit of potential insight here. Number one, it's difficult to kind of play football, which means it's difficult to expose people to football, shoulder pads, helmet, pants, cleats, all of that. This makes the game more accessible to the world. All you need now is a football and some type of field. Football is, concussions and injuries and all of that makes it infinitely more dangerous. Also, you have so many more kids who are 7-on-7 warriors. I say it every week. You get to watch these guys play 7-on-7, and they get offers from playing 7-on-7, and there's just no pads involved. So it's safer. You can get more involvement, and you could spread this easier across the world than tackle football. So I get it.
Cool.
You gotta sell your sport,
but
right?
You gotta sell the sport first. Don't nobody just start at the Olympics. Like that's The highest
Breakdancing.
year. You saw what happened with that. The whole fraud out there. Whole fraud. A whole fraud. She was out there stretching, doing yoga, talking about breakdancing. But cool, I digress. Second of all, I don't think that NFL players should play. Have y'all not heard of Robert Edwards? Robert Edwards was on the same high school team as the Tequila Spikes. I may be aging myself. I don't care. Go back and look up Tequila Spikes playing at Auburn and then playing in the league. He is one of the hardest hitting linebackers of all time. Robert Edwards was his running mate in high school who played linebacker, but he was so fast that they changed him to running back at UGA. He was one of the teams that finally beat Spurrier after like 19 times. He was on that team. He ended up getting drafted by the New England Patriots, had a really good rookie year, made the Pro Bowl, played flag football on the sand, and tore everything in his knee on a freak cut. He tore his whole knee. Came back, played a year or two, wasn't that great because at the time, medicine wasn't to the point where you could fix somebody's whole knee like Nick Chubb and you could come back and run for 1,000 yards. Just wasn't happening. I see that happening with flag football because the thing that makes football different from basketball and why you don't have so many of these soft tissue injuries in football that you have in basketball is because the amount of football that you can play in a year is normally limited to 17 to 20 weeks, 17 to 20 games. You can't play 182 games and then go play pickup football somewhere else. Pickup football don't really exist outside of flag football, and pros don't really play that. So now, if you're going to add flag football and bring in the pros, they got to practice. They got to do something. So you're adding more stress onto the soft tissue injuries. And as soon as you have a major soft tissue injury, i.e. Achilles, which is our ACL, the ACL of the 80s.
Don't worry about it. They're going to take this. They're going to put this right in contracts. Ineligible.
You think so? I was about to ask you that. That's where I was getting to. You think they're going to write that out of the contracts?
This is not a real thing. It's going to be a couple guys. And honestly, those guys are probably going to be okay. It's going to be the Tyreek Hills, who are just super athletes anyway. This is really like I grew up in Florida. I think that if you didn't grow up in Florida, you shouldn't even be qualified. Don't even. And if not Florida, then Georgia. And if you didn't get either one of those places, don't call. Don't call, don't show.
Now that you brought that up, before you go.
Where?
High school flag football is a big thing.
Yeah, we've talked about HBCUs getting flag football, like women's flag football teams do it. Yeah.
Why not? Well, yeah, women, but I'm talking about like for the men because of the professional athlete aspect of it. I think you could probably get a few of these high school kids and maybe a few of the, some of these pro athletes, semi-pro flag football guys that came out and said the NFL players ain't gonna take our spot. First of all, you lying to yourself. But
I actually disagree there. And you talking about Darnell Dossett, I think is his name. They call him Hoosh. But you're right. You're not a better quarterback in the sense, but I'm not sure if you're not a better flag football quarterback. The rules are different in flag football. Everybody doesn't play it that way. So I do think that they should be given a tryout. I think they should be given first right. And then, yes, if you can beat me, then put them on the bench. If you can't, then you don't play. It's that simple.
Yeah, the way they play is different. But I mean, besides that, body type and athletic abilities plays a role eventually.
I agree, but flag football is a lot different than regular football. And if you know how to manipulate the rules, then I don't care. I mean, I do care if you can run a 4.2 40 and when you just throw the ball down the field, go catch it. But at the quarterback position, I do think that knowing the rules and playing within the flag football rules does probably give you a pretty big head start. Because, I mean, playing quarterback, especially in flag football, Yeah, I think that this guy probably has an advantage, and give him a shot. I'm okay with if you know, just like anything else, let him try out. You get cut, you get cut. But I don't think that Mason Rudolph is going to be a better. I don't think that Mason Rudolph is a better flag football quarterback than this kid. No, I surely don't.
I don't think pro football
or call Desmond Ritter.
He about to retire. I don't think pro football quarterbacks will be good without pro wide receivers. If you either got to go all in or just let the amateurs be the amateurs and go for it. It's going to be hard for you to put in a pro quarterback because he's going to expect you to be able to understand and run a route the way that he wants you to run it, or he's used to you running it.
Which that part isn't to me the biggest issue. I think it's just because this is not also 7-on-7. This is flag football, which is different rules. I think that's where the quarterback position is probably a little bit, unless you're just gonna make it a track meet, and then at that point you're gonna basically say, all right, well, I'm just gonna give you Tyreek Hill, and I'm gonna have Patrick Mahomes throw the ball as far as he can, and you just gotta hope that. I mean, at that point they're just gonna have dudes play quarters. And I'm just not gonna let him get behind me. And I just
well then I give the ball to Saquon. And you have a good job with him and Bijan and Jared and Gibbs. You try to tackle them. Cool. No, y'all realize Saquon jumped over a 6'5" dude. Y'all remember that? Backwards.
I mean, you're right. And I think now that part, I'm actually probably less on Saquon than Bijan because he's gonna be so hard to tackle in space. You're going to have to try to get the flags off of him. That means you have to put hands on him. We've seen NFL guys just fall down trying to touch him. And, yeah, that part, because you can manipulate your body. It's not like you're moving to not get tackled. You're moving so that this guy doesn't get my flags. I contort my body more aggressively in ways that I wouldn't be able to do if he's there to knock my face off.
It's an ego trip, too. USA is going to win this for the first 10 Olympics for the next 40 years before somebody is like really good enough to knock us off.
Yeah, and then them Japanese going to create flag football super soldiers, and they're going to be able to anyway, which way did he go? That way.
Speaking of the Olympics, we got one more thing. Hey, we date ourselves a lot on this podcast, but Brett Favre, one of Brett Favre's favorite receivers was Sterling Sharp, and then after him, it was Antonio Freeman. And Antonio Freeman was the bridge between Brett Favre and Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. No, Brett Favre. He was there for Brett Favre. Anyway, he was really good in the late 90s and early 2000s. His son, Alex Freeman, has now transitioned into the growing sport of soccer in America. He has gotten his first call up to the United States men's team. He's an outstanding athlete. This is a major milestone for his career. So we just wanted to give him a shout out at the end of the show. Hey man, more black folks playing soccer. Maybe that should be the new tagline: more blacks in soccer. Right. I don't know. But it's fire, man. Congratulations to him.
Shout out to Antonio Freeman, one of the greatest coaches catches I've ever seen in the existence of football. Unbelievable.
Shout out to Chris Dolben.
Man, unbelievable. Number 2, more black soccer. Congratulations, Alex. More black U.S. soccer for sure. And yeah, this is a family of excellence. Yeah, get that check, bro. And then go be a national team player and play in the Olympics. We're gonna support that all day. And I got that Orlando Health jersey, so yeah, I've already been a fan. Outside of that, I think that is it, my brother.
If we haven't missed anything, take us out.
And I definitely haven't. Number 1, like, follow, subscribe, tell somebody else about the pod. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Concise 2-hour show in and out. Outside of that, number one, no more black baseball and more black umpires. Shout out to my boy Dexter Kelly. Number 2, we're gonna test it out. black soccer players. Shout out to Alex Freeman. Number three. And by far the most important, historically black college university. Your cousin went to, your auntie went to, your uncle went to, the person used to laugh, kiki in the back of church. Send some money to the historically black college universities. I think y'all know how important it is. Y'all watch the same news that I do. Shit getting real. Historically black college university you go to for homecomings, step shows, to be around your people, the one in your neighborhood, the one you be skeeching over, you just went to because they had a little Memorial Day cookout.
Had a little Memorial Day cookout at the end of the semester.
Right. Put some sausages or hamburgers on the grill. You went over there. Least you could do is send some money to the school. And then finally, by far the most important, the greatest learning institution in all the world, the Hampton University. We only ask for $18.68 on behalf of the year that the university was founded. Continue to support HBCUs financially, emotionally, physical. Do what it takes. We love you guys. Adios, mi amigos. God is love. And until we meet again, arrivederci. We out this thing.
Peace. We out of here. Love y'all. I don't have the effects, so just peace. This show is produced by Creative Logic Solutions. Whether the project is big or small, let Creative Logic Solutions help bring your vision to life. Catch our latest episodes and stay updated with the world of sports by tuning into the podcast live on Mondays or catch the re-air on Dive Team Media Network, where you can also check out other Dive Team Media content as well. For collaboration, booking information, or any other inquiries, visit our website at www.thesplashcast.com. Every listen, share, and review is appreciated. Until next time.
Like, follow, subscribe. Thank you, my friend. Yeah, boy.